Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Thanks for being here. You're listening to Vibin It, the show where we help you to manifest your genuine desires and just live your best life, mind, body, soul style. So today's theme is more of the body and the metaphysical, and we have a thought leader in the women's weight loss space, and she is going to help us dive into how we heal excess weight. I would call it healing excess weight because I think it's a manifestation of deeper causes and root issues. And that's really what Steph does. So I'll let her introduce herself a little bit more. Also, Lindsay, hi. Sorry I didn't introduce you. Lindsay Robinson is
What's
here,
up, y'all?
co-host. She's a hypnotherapist. I guess I don't call myself a life coach because I don't like give life advice. I'm more like a self-love manifestation teacher. So yeah, we're all here to help you. And Steph, if you don't mind kind of telling everyone a little bit more about what you do.
Hang
Yeah,
on.
I
I told you I was on one today. Hang on. Kelsey, remember what we said before we hit record? Mind, body, soul. Mind, Kelsey's the soul, Steph's the body. We have the trifecta, y'all.
Boom!
Sorry, Steph,
yeah,
go ahead. I had to say it. Go ahead.
that is amazing. I love it. I think really the biggest thing that I do is I would say like I help women remember
Yeah.
what they already know inside of themselves about their body and their weight. And like that process in itself is just, it's so much fun because it feels good. And I think in the weight loss, diet, food, fitness industry, there's a lot of things that don't feel great. And there's a lot of like shame and body guilt and I should be doing it this way or I should be doing it that way. And like my favorite part about all of it is just that like this feels good because it's coming back to yourself and it's remembering you have the answers inside of you. And because of that, like you can lead a life that's full of freedom. And so yeah, I help women really just get to the emotional root why there's extra weight on their bodies. And it's absolutely fascinating. I mean, every different part of our body tells us something. It's like our soul is communicating
Yeah.
to us about our higher purpose through our body using extra weight, pain, inflammation, irritation, even cellulite. Like these are all things that tell us something. It's like our soul is saying, hey, like I need to tell you this thing. It's so important for your purpose and your happiness and everything. Here, I'll show you through your body. But when we're young, nobody teaches us how to understand this language of our soul, this language of our body. So we're just like, this is really annoying. There's extra
Yeah.
fat here. This is super annoying. This thing hurts. It's so annoying. Or there's cellulite here. What's wrong with me? So we're asking the wrong questions, not realizing that the questions could feel so much better and just be like, what is my soul trying to tell me from this? And then when we get to that, it's like it can be really fast. So traditional weight loss where it's like work out really hard, eat this certain way, it's like yeah, you can like lose weight in like a certain time frame. But when you get to the emotional root of why the extra weight's there and what it's trying to tell you and you address it, it can release. Like my clients see ridiculous results that are like wild. Like somebody loses 5 pounds overnight, like 15 pounds in a week. And this is not like an unhealthy style of weight loss. This is literally just somebody realizing I'm holding extra weight on my body for this specific reason. And I don't need to hold this anymore. I don't need to protect myself with this anymore. And then it's like, it can go because there's no need for it anymore. So it's very fascinating and it's really cool. And like I don't know why nobody teaches us this at a young age, but that's my
I
goal
do.
is to make sure. Yes.
Girl, there's no
Us.
money in it. If we learn to be empowered and love our bodies and love ourselves, there's no money in that. Are you kidding me? Unless
point.
you, like you said, ask the right questions. But I love that you said release because one of the first
Mhm.
things we learn when we're learning weight loss or weight, I say weight release. I cannot say weight loss because in the mind, like if you lose something,
It's
it's
bad.
you got to find it again. Like your body, your mind is trained like, oh, I lost it. I better go find it. So when you said release, I was like, release it because you are ready and you have done the work to be ready, to release it and have it be sustainable. Because that's where we get tripped up is like, sure, you could lose 10 pounds in 48 hours. That would be terrifying, but you could. But it's not sustainable unless you're addressing why you feel you need it, and that's the key. So I'm so happy that you do what you do. We need more people to do what you do. How did you get started doing this?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I got started. Initially, I was just out of college doing a job that was really fun, but like not happy. Like I was not happy doing it. I started gaining a lot of weight. I had a pivotal moment where like I got dressed in the morning for work for my office job and I put on like my fancy pants and they didn't fit. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to try my like fat pants on in the back of the closet that I was hoping I'd never have to wear again. I put them on. They weren't even fitting well. They were tight. I'd sit down at my desk. I felt the roll of fat just hanging over my pants. And I was like, something's happening here. My relationship wasn't going well. I wasn't loving my job. I wasn't making enough money to like sustain myself. So like all the areas of my life were just like not where I wanted them to be. And I just started getting like scared, like, am I gonna have to do this for the next like 60 years of my life? Feel trapped, feel stuck, feel like I'm not doing any area of my life like I want to be doing it. And I believe like at that point I kind of like manifested this health coach into my life. So I was working for a magazine at the time. She came into the office and she said, I'll trade you free health coaching for writing an article for the magazine. I said, sure, like, yes, please, like help. I want to get like out of this funk. And that automatically like tripped me off to like, as soon as I had a session with her, I was like, oh my gosh, it would be a dream if I could help people with their bodies. Like, and that could be my job and I could get paid to do that. Like, that'd be so cool. So I went to health coaching school. I started really like working with people on like food and workouts because that's what I thought worked. And then this thing started happening where like some of my clients, like my clients would get amazing results. When they stopped working with me, they would start to gain that weight back. And that was like I absolutely hated that because I was like, I did not start doing this to have somebody lose weight and then need me again. Like my goal was to like help people and then like sustainably be in a great body that felt good to them. At the same time, I also started like taking on some of the things that my clients were doing that I hadn't done before, like binge eating. And I was like stuffing my face with like cheese. Like I'd just be like in the refrigerator, just like going in on like a bag of shredded cheese. And like just all these different like behaviors and things. And I started to gain. So when I went to health coaching school, I lost 30 pounds. Then when I was coaching my clients, I started to gain those 30 pounds back. Then I gained an extra 10. So then I'm like 40 pounds overweight and I'm a health coach at this point. And I was like, one, my clients are not sustaining these results like I want them to. Two, I've gained the weight back. Like, what's going on here? We need to like course correct. And I was like, it's fine. I'll just do what I did before. I'll eat healthy. I'll do these workouts. It'll work. It'll be great. And I did that and it didn't work. It didn't work like I did before. And I was very confused. I was like, what's going on here? Like, why, what's happening? And it became very clear to me that there was something else going on beyond just workouts and food. And I started to, set this intention to figure out what was going on. And I struggled with my body so much. I was yo-yoing. I was doing really unhealthy behaviors at that point just to try and get the weight off. Nothing was working, even though I'd be eating the right foods, doing the right workouts, the weight was not coming off. So I just went on this journey to understand myself so that I could understand others. And I just like went on this path of understanding like this is like emotional. Like like men do weight loss in their own unique way, but when women are addressing their bodies and why we have extra fat on our bodies, it's not like just work out it off or diet it off. It's like, let's understand why this weight is here. Like it's here to tell us something. It's here to give us a message. It's here to give us a sign. And, I just envision this, like, I have this visual in my mind of like, weeding. Like when I was younger, my mom would have me weed the garden with her. And she, you know, I just like kind of ripped the thing off from the top. And she was like, you have to like get the root out or else it'll just grow back. Like I started to realize that like when we're just working out and we're eating healthy, we're only like pulling the top of the weed off. We're not getting to the root of it. So like it might grow back and it might grow back bigger and it might grow back stronger. But if you can get the root and pull out the root by doing the emotional like inner work around it, then you're creating something sustainable for your life. And that's where I figured out how to do this for myself and then like translate it to my clients. And I've worked with thousands of women over the last 9 years. And it's been like this incredible journey just to watch like all the ways that our emotions are dictating our body.
Yeah.
Doing what you came here for. I love to see it.
Thank you.
Powerful
Same to you too.
stuff. I'm wondering, because you've worked with so many people at this point, there must be like themes with the core reasons. So can you go over some like emotional themes that cause us to have excess weight?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did started noticing all these patterns, and I created a course based off of the experience that I had. And there's 12 modules in it. Each module is a different one of these patterns because they are so common in so many women. Like I would say the number one pattern is like a mother wound. And not every woman experiences this, but I would say like the majority do. And it's the impact that our mother had on our bodies. So it's how our mother talked, or mother figure, you know, it doesn't have to be just specifically a mother. It might be a mother figure, a female figure in our lives. How she talked about her body in front of us, how she talked about other women's bodies in front of us, and how she talked about our body to us, or, you know, if we heard her talking behind our back about our body, it plays a massive impact on our body and how it looks. You know, those beliefs that we have about our body tend to be created by listening to our mother or like female role models in our life. So that one is huge. Another one that's a whole module is like on like our moms and like changing the beliefs that our moms gave us, because really our moms are just passing beliefs down to us about the beliefs that her mom gave her. So it's very generational. Her mom gave to her. And then it's like tracing back to this generation of like, you know, sometimes like Great Depression and times of like massive suffering. And we're still carrying the same beliefs from back then, even though we're not experiencing the same things now. So it's like, it's so important for us, like for the women in our lives, for the girls in our lives, that we are passing good positive beliefs on about our bodies and not just passing on the same story we got from our mom, who got from her mom, who got from her mom. So there's the like mom's body story. There's another module that's completely dedicated to like the stories we've gotten and beliefs we've gotten about our body from men. So like the father in our lives, father figures, the relationships we've been in, you know, the people we've dated have a huge impact on how we look at our body, because you know, they've said things, they've been emotionally close to us. And because of that emotional connection, we take their opinion seriously a lot of times. So there's that. Religion is a big one. Religion and spirituality. There's a whole module on that, specifically because like, that's one we don't even really think about much. Like, oh, is like how I grew up thinking about religion and spirituality, is that impacting me allowing myself to have the kind of body I want? But it plays a huge role. It's one of the biggest ones. Another one is like birthing. So I made an entire module on like birthing babies into the world and birthing ideas creatively through a business into the world. Because when we birth things, we are changing. We're changing our identity. We're changing who we are. We're changing the way we operate in the world. And when there's not emotional support to back that shift up and let us process those moments, then we're gonna like store extra weight for protection.
I've noticed with the people in my life that it usually comes down to like a big safety thing. Like if you don't feel safe in the world, you don't feel safe to be who you are, you don't feel emotionally safe, the body will manifest an extra layer almost like as a shield of protection, or at least a buffer between like you and the world. Which I always find very fascinating because personally, I've always been skinny. Like, if anything, I struggled with the opposite problem. Like, I was always underweight. I couldn't put on enough weight, feeling like I'm just skin and bones. And like, for the first time in my life, in my adulthood, I'm really healthy and I'm not underweight and I have more muscle mass and yada yada. But I do definitely like my heart goes out to people who struggle with the opposite of what I struggled with, because the feelings are still the same. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, you just don't feel good enough. You don't feel like your body is right. You don't feel like you fit in or whatever it is. And that sucks. So I'm really glad that you're doing this work. And before we go any further, can you tell everyone the name of your course and where they can find it?
Absolutely, yeah. So the name of the course is Body Built by Love, and I have it on my website, which is stephhendel.com. I talk about it a lot on my Instagram too. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, everyone go check it out if you're resonating with this message, because the reason why we create these courses is because we know how to help you. So definitely check it out.
Yeah. It's funny, 90, what's the statistic? 90% of, or some shit of weight stuff is emotional. And if you're not acknowledging at least that it could be something more than the extra candy bar I ate or whatever, then you're probably going to have it for a long time. You're probably going to do the yo-yo thing. And I know there's a lot of people listening who maybe do or don't want to admit how true what you're saying is, or maybe they've had these experiences in the past and they're like, how does she know my life? But I'm sure you hear that a lot, people coming to you just saying like, that's exactly what I'm going through. So when Kelsey brought up an interesting point, like, do you ever see women, or do you only see women, or do you see men too? Mostly women, huh?
Yeah, mostly women. I do have men clients and men in my courses here and there, but
Yeah.
predominantly women. Yeah.
Do you ever have women or any clients come to you that have the issue that Kelsey and sometimes myself as well have, where it's just like, I cannot gain weight? Like, do you see anybody like that? And like, what do you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, definitely like mostly women coming for weight release, but yeah,
Right.
there are women who reach out and just say like, I get what you're talking about with the energetics of all of this. Like, I
But it's
need to,
opposite.
yeah, but it's the opposite. Can you help? And I'm yeah, more than happy, because it is like so similar in nature of like why the body is doing something that doesn't feel necessarily like um aligned to us.
Yeah.
It's all coming from that emotional root. And that's like one of the main things that I talk about is like this concept of a soul aligned body, which I believe is like a woman, like every woman came here because she has a purpose, or every person with a feminine essence, like she came here because she's got a purpose. She's got something to do. She's got important things in the world, whether she knows what it is or not. And I believe that she came here with a body that is perfectly aligned with that purpose, So like, if she came to do this one specific thing, maybe she's meant to have more muscle tone on her body and be more lean, but she might be in a body that feels overweight to her. Or maybe she's here to have more like muscle tone in the same situation, but she's not feeling like she's got that muscle tone on her body. And so there's just like, in both cases, there's like a feeling of like, I'm not in my soul aligned body. Because a lot of women do come to me and they say like, I'm looking in the mirror and I don't love what I see and I feel bad about it, like I should love myself. And I'm like, yes, absolutely love yourself. At the same time, it's okay to know you're not in your soul aligned body and desire to be there, because that's like a part of your soul's calling. It's like, hey, I came here to do this important thing and I know I have a body that's aligned for it, and I want to like align both of those things together. And like, I'll know what that feels like when I'm in it. It's like, it's not this vision that like the media is painting of like one body type is the perfect body type and that's the only way. It's like, we kind of know inside of ourselves that there's like this way that we want to look, and feel in our body that's like right for us. And that's okay to want that, you know, that's okay to like love yourself where you're at and want that. So, yeah,
How do you know that you're in a soul aligned body? What are the signs?
it's like overall, it's a feeling. Like the biggest thing is it's a feeling
When
that we
you
have.
know, guys.
When you know, you know. It is. It's just like, you know, have you ever been doing something and you were just like, this feels so good, like this feels so right, like I love this. It's that feeling. It's like, this is so right for me, I'm where I'm supposed to be, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And like, unfortunately, like our society and our culture teaches us to be focused on such like other things and other feelings than that seems almost like a wild and crazy, like could that even be a thing kind of feeling. But
Yeah.
really, that's where we're supposed to, that's where we've been brought here to be, is like, let's line everything up in that, like let's let everything feel that good. Let's, like, what would we be like, and what would we be able to do with like the energy that comes from that in the world if I let all my things line up so beautifully that
Yeah.
I felt super good, and all the women around me felt that too, and they were like, whoa, like I'm allowing myself permission to go there too. Like, that'd be pretty magical. So yeah,
Unstoppable.
unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and what's so cool about you and your work is that we're, Kelsey and myself and you now, Steph, are all having the same conversation with our clients. It's like, what could you possibly do? And what would you be able to do? What opportunities would you have if you just felt like you were your whole complete divine soul aligned self? And
Yeah.
that's the key. And the one most important thing that people should know is, like, no matter where you're at, no matter what your challenge is, no matter where you feel you're failing, it is always possible to start from wherever you are. One of my favorite sayings is, the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. It's like, you can't go wrong no matter where you are. And just think about those areas of your life that maybe don't feel soul aligned, and how can you just take one step forward in the right direction. I got a question for you, Steph. Because this comes up a lot for me in my practice. When you are working with a client and they're like, yep, I'm ready, let's do this. And then you get into the process and you discover, or they discover rather, that maybe they're not quite as ready as they thought. Does that ever happen in your practice with your clients? And if so, how do you help them through that? Because I know for sure some of my clients find out that they are still maybe attached to the safety of it, to the association that they've had with it. So what do you do for those clients?
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're talking about. And I think a lot of us jump into it like that too, just being like it calls to our soul, and our soul
Mm-hmm.
just goes, yeah, like I'm like so more than ready to be there now. And so we're like, yes, let's do it. And then there's a moment where it's like, like a kickback of like,
Right.
whoa, can I really do this? And then the beliefs come in of like, I'm not meant to have this. It's not good for
Yeah.
me to have this. It's not right. It'll hurt somebody I love. It's not safe, like all these different things. So there's that massive kickback. I mean, that is, I would say that that's literally like all my clients, especially when it comes to the body. And it was me when I had the experience of releasing weight and everything. So it's everything I do. It's not like, you know,
Yeah.
even like small portions. It's like everything, because our bodies are these deeply like um powerful things that we don't get an instruction manual for. And then when we jump into let's feel amazing in it, there's like all of this fear that's been built up through all of our lives.
Right.
So like all these reasons, and a lot of the like you know, I was mentioning there's 12 modules in Body Built by Love, and each module has its own theme of different things that we've experienced. And like for me, I had like all those 12 things going on.
Yeah.
Like I had like weird beliefs about my body from men, I had weird beliefs about my body from like women, not necessarily my mom. I was like very blessed that my mom, like I never ever heard her mention like her body. Like I didn't
Yeah.
hear her talk about her body, my body, other women's bodies at all, which is very rare. But I did have like other women in my lives that were talking about their bodies, and I had the religion one, and I had like everything, like
I
all
do
of
want
them.
to talk about the religion one because that intrigues me. What I grew up, my mom grew up, raised me in a church, but I was too young to really know what was going on. What kind of things did you find in? I'm assuming traditional religion like Christianity, Catholicism. Is that what you're referring to?
For me, it was
For
Catholicism.
you, yeah. Okay, so what kinds of things did you come across that you found later were a challenge for you in getting your soul aligned body?
Well, one, like probably the one that stands out the most is just like how we showed up for church. Like when I got older, I started going to church with like other friends, like Baptist church or whatever. And I would like put on a dress and like cover myself up. They were like, I'm wearing yoga pants. What are you doing? And like, what, you can wear yoga pants to church?
Right.
So there was like a lot there about
Your
like
Sunday best
showing my
really
body.
takes on another level, doesn't it?
Totally. It totally does. And like it was all about covering yourself up for me in
Yeah,
my experience of Catholicism. Covering yourself up, being ashamed of any like sexual parts of yourself. I went to
right.
Catholic school for 12 years, so I was always wearing a uniform and it was like a huge deal about the length of your skirt and like, I mean, just showing anything at all ever. Legs, chest, arms, like it was just a very like you need to cover up if you, especially if you're a woman, like men, like whatever, guys are wearing their pants and their polo, it's cool, but like
Mhm.
the girls were like a huge focus, and it was always they'd literally get out the ruler and measure our skirts in front of everybody, and
I have so
it was
much
just
anger right now.
mm,
I'm like seething inside. Oh, okay.
feel you,
I'm
I
trying to
feel
reel
you.
it in. I'm gonna try to reel it in because I even like at a young age I knew that did not make sense and I would see it everywhere, even in in schools and stuff. Which I do understand there needs to be some sort of dress code for both their children, we're teenagers, whatever. But when you say like only the girls can't wear this stuff because it might, and we know why, guys, it's because it might distract the men. It might turn their eyes, and that pisses me off
Mhm.
because it's not my problem. And I knew that even as a young kid, like I don't know, I just never wanted to it does not compute to me to play by those rules. So when I saw those signs in like schools that are like, instead of teaching young girls why they should cover up and change themselves, teach your boys to be respectful, teach your boys to just keep their eyes forward, that kind of thing, which I do believe on both sexes, both genders do need to have some sort of cognizance. You don't want the opposite either. But I'm just saying, like that sort of thing where it's only the girls because of this reason, like past life stuff coming up.
Yeah, and I think like honestly, like what gets me really fired up about that too, or about like, it's like the concept that we're not like instead of teaching women that they are very and girls that they are very powerful beings with a very powerful energy that can be used for good
Yeah.
with their bodies, we're taught you're like for me like something that I moved through a lot with my body stuff to like release weight was feeling like I was a piece of meat that was just
Yeah.
dangling
Yeah.
ready for somebody to jump out. It's like a wild crazy thought from childhood, but like ready for somebody to jump out from a corner and take advantage of me. Like I
Yeah.
was had no power, no say. I was just a body that was like potentially gonna like make a boy like um
Tempted.
do something to be tempted. So
Yeah.
like it's not being taught like, hey, you're a woman, you're a girl, you will be a woman, you have a body, and your body is really powerful, and you have a say, and you have permission, and you get to let people, you know, demean you or be tempted by you, or you can be very empowered and powerful with your body, and you can know you have a say. Like, and that's where
Yeah.
like girls are getting taken advantage of, women are getting taken advantage of by men. So when we don't know we have power,
Yeah.
we're not
I
taught
just
that.
I just think that if first of all, I got goosebumps when you were talking. So I know that it's like, oh, it just hit me. But like you're right. If we're taught as young girls, like you have power, you have control, you have, the ability to give permission and consent. Period. Don't even acknowledge But, you want to be careful when you walk alone, and you want to have keys in your knuckle. How many of us were taught that? I was taught that. Have a weapon at all times if you're alone. Like, it's just,
Well,
and I understand where it's coming from, a place of love. I do. I understand that, we want to protect our girls, and there are bad things that happen, but like, you're right. If we just knew that we were empowered, like, how much different could it be? Let's try it. See what happens.
and I
Mhm.
feel that this is the part of being a woman that really sucks, because whether we realize it or not, we're like, our baseline is fear. Like for
Yeah.
us, the world is a much more dangerous place than for men,
Right.
right? Because we're more vulnerable, we're not as physically big or as physically
Right.
strong or dominant, and like it's created like that on purpose. I don't think we should try to outdo men in that regard or
Right.
anything. I
I
think
ain't wrestling no men
it's
in an alleyway.
natural
That's
and
not
fine,
happening.
but it just sucks because like even if we know it or not, we're always scared. And so I
Yeah.
just want everyone listening to acknowledge that and like give themselves the self-compassion every day. If
Yeah.
you're like double checking your locks, or like, oh, I shouldn't wear my hair in a ponytail in this parking lot because that's how they grab you, or like whatever it is. Like
Wait, what?
I'm a paranoid individual because I'm small. I don't
Yeah.
run fast. I mean, my defenses would be like my teeth and my nails at this
Yep.
point, right? So I'm always like, well, I'm cute, I'm small, like I'm probably like the perfect target for a predator. And I remember like in beauty school, we would learn about like different hairstyles. And I was like, well, if I have short hair, then like men won't want me. Or like if I don't wear my hair in a braid, it'll be harder for
Yeah.
someone to like grab me by the hair. And it's just like crazy. So my whole thing right now is I just want everyone to give themselves that self-compassion and have the awareness of like, no matter how hard you try, like you're always going to be in fear being a woman, and like that's natural and that's okay. And it doesn't mean that you're always in danger. It just means that there's always a perceived threat, right?
Well, and we're designed to, what is it? The feminine energy observes, right? We're designed to observe and make sure that all the boxes are being checked, and make sure that, everything's being taken care of, and the locks are locked, and all this stuff. Like, that's just innately who the feminine is. But a little tip: eye gouging, Kels. You don't just have your teeth and nails. You gouge those motherfuckers' eyes out. And I don't know what's wrong with me today. And because I grew up with brothers, I know this very well. Your legs just kick the crap out of anything you can feel, including the soft part there. It works.
Where it
It works.
counts.
It works. It gets you out of any situation in a tickle fight or anything. They just won't let you get out.
Tickle fight.
Dude, I have 4 brothers. I know how to like get out of a situation. But again, I'm not cancel, not inviting anything. Just saying, gouge them eyes out. And that should be the
That
quote
is
for the
great.
episode.
Very
Gouge them
empowering.
eyes
I
out.
feel empowered. I like it.
We're getting way off topic, but I think it's important,
Well, I don't think
to
it's
just
off
feel.
topic, because I feel like a lot of women probably hold extra weight because they feel physically unsafe, or they feel like,
Yes.
oh, if I'm too sexy, if my
Oh
body
my
is
gosh.
too desirable, then I'm going to be more in trouble or more in danger. So I think it's perfectly on topic.
That is,
Yeah.
I can't tell you how often that I've heard that in my clients, just working on not just weight stuff, but emotional stuff too. Like, I don't feel comfortable being feminine because this is what happened to me last time. Like, it's a disgrace. but but
It
if we
is
can just feel
powerful.
empowered, it's very powerful. It gets
Some
in
people
there.
don't know how to handle the power
Wield
correctly.
the power. But that's why, having people like Steph is so important, because you can, if I'm hearing you correctly, like, what you're so beautifully able to do is teach people that empowerment and that love of themselves that comes first. And then everything else, as I know in my practice, as Kelsey knows as well, everything else kind of falls into place, where you can look at other areas of your life and feel more aligned, because your home base, your home plate, your sacred, vessel is who you are, like who you really are, not when you look in the mirror and see somebody else. So that, I think, is always step 1.
Hey there, thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to watch the extended version where you get the full podcast episode in a video format, just go to patreon.com/highvibe. The link is in the description. That's where you can become a supporter of the show, listen to all the episodes via video format, and each week you get extended versions of the show, meaning you get to see the pregame behind the scenes, and also you get an extended interview with whoever we're guesting, or if it's me and Lindsay, we usually pull cards for you guys, fun stuff like that. So go check it out. There's lots of cool goodies, including a free copy of my book, a free audio hypnosis from Lindsay. She's a hypnotherapist. And yeah, we just want to give you all the goods, all the content. So head over to patreon.com/high vibe to become a Patreon.
Or if you'd rather listen to the rest of this episode, head over to highvibinit.com where you'll see all the links to everywhere that it's getting streamed. Click your favorite one and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Thanks for listening.